Hello, everybody. So happy to connect with you all. I'm so excited for this. I just felt like it's been so long that since we connected this way, just you and me, that I just said to Siman, I said, "Hey, I really feel like doing a solo live today." And he's like, "Go for it. I'm so busy." He's like, "Go for it." So first of all, I need to like ground with you guys. I feel so called to share this update with you, sage all of you, share my love with all of you. And then, most importantly, my intention for this update is to give you some perspective on all this intensity that so many of us are facing. I love you guys too so much. Do you feel that? Cleansing and clearing all that does not serve you in this now moment. Lifting density, cleansing your aura, cleansing your light body, your chakra, your emotional, physical, mental, and physical bodies. We ask Archangel Sandalphon to ground us all deep into the 5D crystalline core of Mother Gaia. We ask our star command of the Galactic Federation of Worlds to enclose us all in a bubble of protection as we are all stepping into our soul's work so powerfully, guys, so powerfully. How's everybody feeling? How is everybody feeling? 144 minutes, I think. Oh, it's 144 people in the house and 144 minutes right at the same time. So it was 1 minute 44 seconds and 144 people at the exact same time. So I think that's a really good time to start. All right, everybody. All right. So there is a lot of intensity on planet Earth right now. Light workers, especially, are feeling so squeezed. Literally, light workers are feeling slapped from left, right, and center. And many light workers, many beautiful, beautiful souls who are fully in their ascension path are wondering, what are we doing wrong? We're doing everything we can. We're doing the inner work. We're watching our watching our ego. We're watching our triggers. We're knowing not to project. But this 3D world is just getting so intense. That is what this whole video is about, how to deal with the intensity, what is causing this intensity. Welcome, everybody. So we called this transmission, Your Light is Expanding, and let's start with that. So many of us are so involved in our day-to-day lives that we forget to take a stock of what's really happening. We're going about our lives being the best version of ourselves, being good mothers, good daughters, good everything to everyone. But it gets just so intense that this video is about clearing all the clutter, really. I have a lot that I want to share with you guys. From Taiwan, how amazing is that? Oh my God, I'm just feeling all the love, you guys. I'm so feeling the love. So, what's going on right now is that your light is actually and literally being expanded. So light, how this is showing up in light workers is, so let's really fast, let's flash back, let's reverse, let's go backwards, and let's start from the grand solar flash. Every single one of us, whether you know it or not, especially the light workers right now, are being prepared for this phenomenon that we all know as the grand solar flash. This has been prophesized. This has been many channelers have talked about it. Saman and I have been getting so many downloads about it. We've made at least 3 or 4 videos on this channel about it. And really, and in the last video, which you haven't, if you haven't watched, I highly recommend it. I can't remember what we called it. You might want to comment here and let me know. It was the Metatronic, the whole story about how the Metatronic codes were reversed and how we got to where we are today, how humanity fell in consciousness. And in that video, we touched on the solar flash. We talked about how the solar flash is a beam of light that's going to come in from the 15th dimension, that's going to come in and completely transform our universe. It's going to completely transform every being, every sentient being on this planet and in our universe with just one pulse, because we are now entering a new age, the age of Aquarius. All of this is actually happening, whether or not you believe it, whether or not you're aware of it, whether you're or not your focus is on it. So think about it as a huge phenomenon taking place on planet Earth. And while we're sleeping, while we are going about our daily lives, not even knowing the humongousness and the enormity of what's going on, even aware of it, we're just going about our daily lives. But what's really happening is that our light is being stretched. Our light bodies are being stretched. It literally feels like you're being expanded to a point where you feel it's getting too uncomfortable. Please, I cannot handle this anymore. It's coming up as intensity. So, what's going on when your light is being stretched? Your light quotient is also going up. Why is your light being stretched, first of all, before we go any forward? Because for us to access higher consciousness, for us to access the higher octaves, for us to be a vibrational match to even meet our galactic families, for us to even be a vibrational match to 5D New Earth timelines and 5D New Earth communities, your soul family, your soul monad, your galactic families, your guides are engineering your ascension in a very, very, very detailed way. Just soak that up for a moment. Your ascension, your evolution is being engineered from the higher realms by your personal guides of guides, angels, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call them. Whether or not you're aware of them, they're working with you every moment. They've been with you from the time you're born, but they only come online when you awaken. When you awaken, until then, the guides are just sleeping. They're like, okay, there's no work for us here. But unless there's like a major, major, major emergency that they need to catch your attention, they're usually completely not even in your field. But once you awaken, they come online and then they guide you. They bring in the right people for your lessons. They bring in the right experiences and they guide you so you're fully guided. Even if you think you're not guided, many people say, I'm not guided. You're fully guided. Every place you go to, every person you talk to, every breakup you have, every hardship you have, every challenge you have is you being guided, is you being completely guided. So what's happening is that as your light is being stretched and this uncomfortable feeling is coming up within you, it feels like the intensity is just too much. What's actually happening is that 3D is being triggered by your light. So that's one of the first things I want to touch on. You may start noticing that as you go about your day, anybody who's not yet in your vibration is being triggered by your light. So this is something that I want to give you a perspective from a new angle. What happens when 3D gets triggered by your light? And this is something that light workers are all experiencing. They're like, oh my God, no matter how hard I try, I go to the mall, I get exhausted. I pick up everyone's energies. I'm around vaxxed people, I pick up everyone's energy. So I want to clarify a lot. But my intention for this video is by the end of this video, I want you guys to feel super clear, super back in control, super back in the driver's seat. And that is what my intention is. And I ask my personal team of guides and angels, I ask all the ascended masters to please clear everybody as we're doing this video. Please clear, please clear, please clear, lift the intensity. Help us in any way possible. So know that for this whole time, I have set intentions that you are going to be receiving a healing from your guides, from your angels the entire time, okay? So what's happening is that 3D is being triggered. And instead of saying, hey, I'm really triggered by you, hold on. They're not just being triggered, but they're also unconsciously being insanely attracted to your light. They are being unconsciously attracted to your light. So as your light quotient is going up, they are unconscious about what's going on, but they feel something's happening. And because they are disconnected from the light, it is an innate switch that goes on in them saying, I want more of you, I want more of you, I want more of you. But because they are completely unconscious, they don't have the courtesy or the decency, perhaps, to say, let's go out for dinner or let's spend some time together. I'm attracted to your light. That does not happen in 3D. How it shows up in your life is more like a narcissistic behavior. They try to ridicule you, they try to control you, they try to shame you, they try to shove their expectations and their judgments on you. But know that if this is happening in your life, this is really a manifestation of your light growing big and the world around you recognizing and feeling that phenomenon that is taking place because they don't know what's going on. They're scared shitless. They don't know what's going on with planet Earth. They don't know why it's so hard. They don't have any connection to source like you do. So all of this is coming up. So as you navigate these territories, as you look at all of these 3D lessons, as you look at people getting triggered by you, there's a lot of lessons here, but we won't even go into the lessons yet. We're first here to clear your field. So just know that that is my intention. I just want to clear your field by giving you the actual behind the scenes of what's going on, just so you're aware. So one of the biggest things that I want you to remember as you go about your day is that you are in a state of intensity. You are in a state of, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. It's getting too intense because you're being fragmented. You are putting yourself in a state of fragmentation. And I'm going to talk about what that is. I'll give you an example. Let's say you go to a shopping mall. This is the first example that just came to mind. Let's say you go to a shopping mall and you want to buy a pair of sunglasses. You try on 100 sunglasses, you can make up your mind, and finally you buy one. Okay? You buy one, you go home, and then you're like, I don't like these sunglasses. I wish I hadn't bought them. They're so expensive. Damn, damn, damn. So now you're fragmented. So now there's one cord between you and the sunglass, creating a story of fragmentation that's vibrating in your field. Now let's talk about your families. Let's say you have somebody in your family who is very abusive towards you, very judgmental, very abusive, very toxic, very negative, and so on. Let's say one day you feel like, I need my boundaries and I'm not going to speak to this person. But let's say the next day you feel, oh, I should speak to this person because I'm a good person and I cannot ignore them. And 3, let's say you are so addicted to the drama yourself, so addicted, because in 3D, you have to really own that you may be addicted to this 3D drama. Because I hate to say this, but 3D drama with family can be very addictive as a distraction to you working on your own soul's path. It may be the perfect distraction for you to say, working on myself is so hard. Let me just go and fight with my family because that's easier. And I really want you to absorb that. You may be attracted and addicted to your own drama in your own lives. So what's happening is that that's another form of fragmentation. One day you want to block them and have your own boundaries. The other day you feel sorry for them. You can't make up your mind. You're going in 3 different places. So you're fragmented in 3 different places. So now there's 3 more cords. So you have like 4 cords tugging at you from all sides. What is another cord? Let's say you're in a relationship with someone who is asleep. You may be fragmented because you have a wrong operating system, a wrong meaning not an up-to-date operating system that is telling you, oh, you are responsible for this other person's awakening, just like you're some saint or guru to or source to influence them. This operating system, this egoic constraint, this egoic construct may be telling you, okay, you need to awaken everyone. Your spouse is awake, unawake. Oh my God, shame on you. Like, poor you. You have to awaken this person. So you start putting guilt and shame and you start nagging the crap out of your spouse because he or she is asleep. So that's another form of fragmentation, because instead of staying in your pillar of peace and bliss and self-exploration and solo time and self-joy, you're now torn because you want to awaken another person. And what is the problem with that? The problem with that is that you literally cannot awaken anyone until and unless they are ready to awaken. It's not your responsibility. It's not your role. It's not your role. It's every single one of us has our own soul plan. We have our own soul monad guiding us. We have our own higher self guiding us. We don't need to, all you can do is be a shining example. And if someone wants to awaken around you, great. But if not, what do you do about it? I'll talk about that in a second. But now do you see how you're being fragmented in so many different places? And now let's talk about children. Many of you are having trouble with children, many of you. So when your children start to bother you and almost bully you, because sometimes when children pass a certain age, they can actually feel like their energy can feel very narcissistic and very controlling and very manipulative. And all of this is also tormenting you. Like, am I a good mother? What do I do? Do I be a disciplinarian, or do I be a soft mother? What do I do? Like, all of this is fragmenting your field. And at the same time, your Markaba light body is being expanded, your light is being stretched. And at the same time, 3D is getting extremely intense. The light is getting extremely intense. These mini solar flashes and flares that we're having are getting so intense that you literally feel like, I'm having an anxiety attack. I cannot go on anymore. It just feels extremely exhausting. So, what do you do about all of this? I kind of want to go in and just talk about a few things. So, we talked about relationships. Let's start there. Let's see what the guides have to say about this. When you're in a relationship with someone, it's very important for you to be fully aware of the fact that you may think you're in love with them. This is completely the guides. It's not an angle I was thinking of. You may be completely under the illusion that you are in love with this person, but what your guides want you to reflect on is maybe you are just familiar with this person. There's a huge difference between love and familiarity. And what the guides are saying is, don't hold on so tight to the familiar and comfortable, but instead let go and embrace the unknown. So, this is a transmission for all walks of your life. Because as you go from 3D to 5D, if I tell you what is the biggest theme I have seen, it is letting go of the known. It is letting go of the known. And I am so used to this. Because what if you're so used to this and it's not even matching your vibration right now? You have shifted so much, my dear, my beloved. You have shifted so much. You have been doing so well. You're not the same person you were 1 year ago, 2 years ago. But the people you're surrounded with, including your birth families, including your own children, if they're completely asleep, including your own spouse, your mother, your boss, whoever it is, they're all still where they were 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years ago. They've not changed. They've not evolved. They're still stuck. And there's no judgment towards them, but they're still stuck in the matrix. They're still stuck in a cage. They don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't even see the rainbow. So, what you're doing is that you're so holding on to this familiarity that you're forcing yourself to believe that you're happy. You're forcing yourself to believe that this is the only way. But I'm saying, let it go. If it has to go, let it go. And what the guides want you to do is, instead of focusing on a long term vision of, should I do this? Should I not do this? When you're thinking a lot from your head, it's going to fry your system, because the mental body, that your head, is only able to comprehend to a certain octave of your consciousness. Your heart is where the wisdom is. So when I say heart, I also mean feeling sensors. So for any of you who are having relationship stress, I want you to feel into it. How do I feel around this person? Doesn't matter who it is. It's the same rule for anyone, whether it's your mother, your husband, your wife, your daughter, it doesn't matter. How do you feel around this person? If you feel negative energy, if you feel stressed, if you feel like, I can't stand that person's energy, I don't want to be intimate with that person, that is your soul, your body telling you that this is not a vibrational match. And right now, the guides are actually saying to me to touch on a very important topic that many of you are apparently experiencing, where you're judging those who have had the vaccination. That's another area where you might be fragmented. So when I go around town, I'm not asking people, hey, you're massaging me. Do you have the jab or not? I don't care, because I'm fully protected. I'm fully guided. I'm not worried about all these stories that if they've had the jab, they're harmful for me. I don't even have any of those stories playing in my head, because I do not like to live my life in a fragmented state where I'm always torn apart. Like, am I going left? Am I going right? I know exactly where I'm going, because I don't hold on to stories. So going back to my earlier examples, if I buy a sunglass, I keep it, or my point is, I don't go back to old stories. Once I make a decision, I stick to it. And this is a very big download, because right now, the biggest thing you're being asked to do is get back to clarity. Let go of all of these cords that you're putting in everything. You go shopping, there's a cord. There's always like did I do a wrong thing? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Have I done that wrong? Oh my God, I shouldn't have. I should have done that. I should have said that. Oh, I should have. That is the state that most of humanity, especially light workers, are in. Instead, we're asking you to go back into a zone of clarity, of surety, of knowing exactly what you're doing, exactly where you're going, and saying, you know what? This feels right now. And if I make a mistake, so be it. Because there is no such thing as a mistake. Your guides want you to know this. There is no such thing as the word mistake. There's no such thing. Because every single thing you do, every single job you lose, every single relationship you break up with, every single time you fall, there is always a deeper spiritual meaning. Always, always, every time. There's no exception to this. And remind yourself that you are really in a simulation. I know many of you have a hard time understanding or grasping this concept, but you are in a simulation. You have been sent to Earth on assignment to evolve your soul, to expand your light body, to activate your higher chakras, to bring perfection into every aspect of your physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional being, and to then create 5D new earth with other people who are of that vibration. And I will say this, that right now there's not enough people vibrating, not even close to 5D consciousness. And that brings me to my next point. So many of you, that brings me to my next point. So many of you are craving your connection with soul family. You're like, I have not met my soul family yet. I met a few people, but it didn't work out. Where are my soul family? I'm sick of being alone. Where is my soul family? And I'm going to say something to you that actually may shock you. There's something in my eye, sorry. I'm going to say something to you that may shock you. And there's no judgment in this, but the reality is that the soul family timeline gets activated for every single individual when that individual is vibrating a certain frequency that is a viable vibrational match to the soul family timeline. So, you know how in 3D, you're always, your whole life just revolves around, I want to make more friends. I want to make more friends. I want friends. I want friends. Why is that? We think in 3D, we think, oh my God, when you have friends, good friends, you've hit the jackpot. So then you make friends, you break up, you make new friends, you break up, you make another set of friends, you break up. It's like the same loop. It's like a same loop going over and over again. So the guides are saying, what makes you think the soul family is any different? If you are connected with your soul family right now, you're not even a vibrational match to meet your soul family. And I know this may be shocking to some of you, but it's not meant to be shocking. It's to give you some perspective. When you are a vibrational match to your soul family, you will be connected to the soul family, because right now, if you're reunited with your soul family, what I'm seeing and what the guides are saying is that there will be projections, there will be blame, there will be ego triggers, because that is how, not because you're a bad person. This is very important to understand. It's not because you're a bad person, but it's because this is how the matrix is built. Okay, let's go slow with this one. The matrix is built in such a way that it's like, the way it's being shown to me is that it's like mirrors all around you. Okay, so imagine you're on earth and there's like a million, like a gazillion mirrors all around you. And these mirrors around you, their only job is to reflect to you what you need for your evolution. So if you still have ego triggers, if you still have triggers, or if you still have unworthiness, if you still have insecurities, if you have all of this, what happens is that these mirrors are going to show you the lessons that you need through your relationships around you to heal these triggers. That is how this matrix is built. The matrix right now, your illusion, like your hologram, your personal hologram that you call life, is built on the operating system that it wants you to ascend to higher consciousness, and it's doing that by reflecting to you all of your blind spots through these mirrors. And mirrors could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be people in the grocery store, it could be people in the supermarket, it could be your boss. All of these mirrors are showing you where you are out of alignment. So if you meet the soul family, you're still going to be playing the same games because you're not yet in the octave of vibration where you can even be united with your soul family. So one of the things that the guides said to us recently, and this was a very, very big honor, gift, blessing from the higher realms. So Saman and I, we've been on a solo journey for the longest time. Like for the past 3 years, we've pretty much been solo, no friends. We've completely and 100% cut ties with our birth families. 100%. It was getting extremely toxic towards the end, about 2.5 years ago. Extremely toxic. It was getting like negativity, blame. Why did you quit your job? What is this? You've started a YouTube channel. You're so stupid. Like, they had all these weird, like, why are you getting a divorce? As if they run my life. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So it got so toxic, and it wasn't just this. It got very toxic to the point that we said no more of this. And we were fully guided when we did this. We said no more of this. So recently, so for the last 3 years, we've pretty much, it's just been Saman and me, no friends, no family, nobody else to talk to, because we are vibrating at a frequency that we don't really enjoy talking to even other light workers, because they're all in a different octave. There are a few octaves below us in consciousness. And I bring this up because many of you are going through this right now. Your whatever vibration you're in, you're finding it unbearable almost to be around people of a lower vibration. And this is just how it works. This is how it works. And it keeps, that's how vibration sorts itself out. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, what you're being asked to do is to allow your ascent. You're being asked to allow your ascent, your hot air balloon, to take off and literally let go of the tethers that are holding you down, whether it's your family, whether it's your job, whether it's your relationship, whatever it is, your victim consciousness, your insecurities. They're all tethers holding you, holding you, holding you, holding you. When you let go of the tethers slowly, one by one, you meet your soul family. And the biggest blessing that we recently received was that we were reunited with our soul family. So the three children who now live in Croatia, they live 15 minutes away from us, are very, very, very dear to us. And we feel like they are our soul family. I'm talking, when I say soul family, I'm not talking about the broader soul family. I'm talking about our family. We're reunited with Geraldine, who's now, she just left our house. She's our vegan chef. She comes in, she makes us high vibrational vegan meals. Why are Siman and I united with these people now? Why? Because it's only now that we are a vibrational match to it. And you know what the guide said to me when we were reunited with our soul family? They said this to me a few weeks ago. Actually, no, they said this to me just before I came to Croatia. They said, EldoRa and Saman, you guys should be very proud of yourselves because you are way ahead of planet Earth. You're being handed out your soul family cards. You're being reunited with the soul family. And this has not yet happened on planet Earth. I was shocked when they said that. And I immediately asked them, I said, what about my soul family? What about my audience? When are they going to be united with their soul family, with their, like, the real, real, real people who just have unconditional love and nothing else? And you know what they said? It's not time for that yet, because they still have their lessons. They still have all of their triggers. If they, and another thing the guides said to me, they said, there's a lot of 5D, so-called 5D communities on planet Earth, and they're doing the best that they can. They're living harmoniously. They're growing their own organic produce. They're having their own kind of like farming and whatever. I haven't visited any of these communities, but they do exist on Earth. But you know what the guide said to us? At the moment, there are no 5D communities because there's no human embodying 5D consciousness yet. And so they said to us that EldoRa and Saman, your role is more humongous than you are even aware of. And they're saying because to anchor 5D in a community, the pillars of the community have to be rock solid. And the pillars of the community have to be vibrating 5D, which Saman and I are only now just starting to vibrate. So I'm just starting to be fully embodied in my 5D vibration. And Saman is right now vibrating 6D frequencies. He recently had a very powerful merger with thought. And since then, I am witness to the magic that he's going through. He's actually being told that we are going to start meeting our galactic families in the flesh and blood, like in real. And this is the most crazy thing I've ever heard. But this is what our guides are telling us. And we're like, okay, all right. When is this going to happen? Like, we have a huge backyard. We have a huge, like, garden, maybe. I don't know. We don't know what to expect. But this is just to put some context that your soul families, instead of sitting and whining or complaining or expecting them to come, I invite you to let go of all those expectations, because they are also fragmenting you. They're pulling you in these ways of when. They're pulling you, and that's taking you away from your center point. And your guides want you to go back to your center point. Now let's talk about that. Okay. Every single one of you is your own individual pillar of light. You are connected to all that there is above and all that there is below. You're not just the human flesh and blood that you see. You're way more than any of this. You don't just have 7 chakras, you have way more chakras. You're connected all the way to the 12th dimension and above. But let's just talk about the 12th dimension. You are connected to so much. You're a multidimensional being having a human experience. But that also means that all your higher selves, all the higher versions of you, don't think that you only have one higher self. That's actually not the case. Every octave or every jump you make, that is a higher version of you, and you are one step closer to your higher self. So you can have many higher self mergers till you even start embodying this ascended master consciousness. And what your guides really want you to remember is that you are your own pillar. So now imagine every single person on earth. Imagine every single one of us walking around like our own pillar, connected all the way to source and connected all the way down to Mother Earth. And why do the guides want you to imagine in this? Why do the guides want you to envision this? Because what they want you to know is that you right now are being pulled in too many directions. You are being pulled in too many directions, being a good mom, being a good wife, being a good husband, being a good everything. And what they want you to know is that until you are centered in your pillar, completely centered, completely connected to who you are, what your needs are, what your desires are, what your likes and dislikes are, what your ambitions and goals are, until you're fully centered in your center point, they're saying you're just playing a charade. You're just playing a game. You're wasting your time. You're being so much in everybody else's energy that you're just like a ping pong ball. Literally. You're just like a ping pong ball being thrown around left, right, and center. And your guides want you to come back to your center point. And what does that mean? How do you do that? Anybody? How do you do that? You do that by taking solo time. This is one of the most important things you need to do. You're being asked to do right now. Take solo time. And what that means is every single day. Yes, I love that. Somebody said being alone. When you take solo time for the first hour, trust me, you'll be like, I don't know, my head just feels fried and I'm not even able to meditate. But I'm saying don't meditate. That's another trick. People say, oh my God, you need to meditate till your ass turns blue and like you like feel it. I haven't felt any of that stuff. I don't just sit and meditate like that. That's so old school. What I do, what works for me, everybody has to know what works for each of us, right? So I just go and lie on my daybed, absorbing the sun. I just feel so good for the first hour, and I don't even judge myself for not coming back to 0 point. My mind's going in 10 different places. I let it. And then slowly it starts calming down. Slowly it starts calming down. And that's when I enter my sweet spot. And then exactly, somebody says, I'm having a hard time meditating. My brain won't shut off. So then when that happens, don't resist it. Do something else. So then after about 45 minutes of an hour of you just being in the sun, quiet time, then you say, okay, now I'm finally starting to feel my own energy, and start doing more of that. Go away on solo trips. When I was in Morocco recently, I went on a solo trip to the Atlas Mountain, just alone. I hired a cab. So Siman had his own solo trip. He called Atlas Mountain, called him. He went alone. He went on a crazy freaking 400-meter trek, steep trek. The guide said no one has done this. The guide didn't do it. The last little bit of the trek, Siman went alone. I didn't go with him. And 2 days later, I got the call from Atlas Mountain, and I went on a solo trip. I hired a cab. I did something different. I didn't go on a trek like Siman. I went into a beautiful 5-star hotel, and I had an amazing, healthy lunch there. And I lay on their sunbed for like 4 hours, just basking in bliss and peace and quiet. And I felt so charged and so at peace. And then I went home. It was a full day thing, basically. And I felt like on top of the world because I had just felt my own energy for a full day. Not Siman's, not you guys's, not everybody. There's so many people requiring my energy right now. My Office of Christ team, we are 12 of us. Siman is another person. Like everybody around me. What Siman and I do is we take a lot of solo time. That is how we can be this powerful because we are in tune with who we are at our core. We are in tune with our energy, our needs. So solo time is a very big one. There's another, one other thing I touched on earlier, but before we move on to the next point, I do want to touch on the point of completely removing any judgment if somebody has taken the jab, because this is again fragmenting you. Controlling others, judging others is not your job. How else can I put this? So let's say somebody's vaxxed and you judge them. What if your guides judged you for swearing? Or what if your guides judged you for eating meat? Or what if your guides judged you for smoking weed? Or what if your guides judge you for having an occasional glass of wine? Do your guides judge you? Does your higher self judge you? Think about it. They don't even have the vibration of judgment in higher realms. Judgment, control, all of these are traits of the ego. The more judgmental you are, the lower vibration, the lower you are vibrating. So it's very important to check yourself right now. And just once you come into your own boundary, you know what works for you, you know what doesn't work for you, and the other people don't matter. So for example, I'll give this to you in a very direct download. Let's say Siman wants to do something that I don't like, or let's say he wears something that I don't like, or let's say he, I don't know, does something that I don't approve of. I remind myself, who the hell am I to approve what he wants to say, do, or wear? Who the hell do I think I am? He doesn't require my approval. I don't require his approval. We're two individual beings. But many couples get so tangled up that they're so in each other's faces of what to wear, what not to wear, how to behave, how to speak, act, who not to talk to, who to talk to. These are all fragmenting your soul, people. This is fragmenting you big time. And right now, the biggest ask of you guys is to come back to your center, to your pillar, to your pillar. Let's see, what else are there? Okay. I'm going to see what are the other. So another thing I want to talk about is insecurities. So this light is so strong. These solar flares are so strong right now that a lot of your insecurities are coming up. Now, when an insecurity comes up, the first thing that the ego does, it says, this is too much for me. I don't like her. Who does he think he is to say that to me? Or I don't like her. Why does the ego behave this way? Because when something comes up in you called insecurity, the ego likes to project on the other person, saying, I'm feeling this way because he did that, or she said that, or they make me feel that way. But what I'm asking you to do is every single time you feel an insecurity come up within you, take solo time, super important, and go to the bottom, to the root cause of why am I feeling insecure. So let's say, let's go deeper into this. Let me think of an example. So let's say you're feeling insecure about, my goodness, I'm not getting an example, guys. Give me an example. Let's say you're feeling let's say you're feeling insecure about the way you look, your body. Let's say you're fat, you think you're fat. Let's say you have stretch marks. Let's say you have whatever the case. Let's say you're overweight. Insecurity comes up, but the ego will say, this is too hard, or I don't know, there's no hope for me. There's no hope for me. I mean, and if somebody else looks hot, you'll try to avoid them, saying, no, 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 no. She brings up my insecurities because she looks so hot that I feel insecure in front of her. So all of these are exactly getting older, judging my body, stretch marks. All of these are insecurities, right? This is also fragmenting you. Why is it fragmenting you? Because insecurities are constantly making you judge yourself. And so then you stop looking at yourself in the mirror. You start covering up. You start wearing loose clothes and you don't feel good. You're vibrating, instead of vibrating bliss and I fucking love myself, I love my life, you start vibrating all these insecurities. So instead, what can you do? You can do a few things. Every time an insecurity comes up, look at the insecurity in its face. Okay, I'm feeling this way because I don't like the way my body looks. All right. So that's the root cause. Fine. Now, what can I do about it? Number one, if I have stretch marks, let's say I have stretch marks on my belly because my son was like humongous. He was 10 pounds when he was born. So in the 8th month, all of a sudden, I'm like, what's happening to my belly? It had like a million lines of stretch marks. And then when he came out, I was like, oh my God, I'm scarred for life. And you know what? I just changed my filter, my lens, my perspective. And I said, I'm just going to wear this as a badge of motherhood. My body is sacred. My body is divine. And the way I perceive my body, this is very important. The way I perceive my body is what my body is going to show to the outside world. So if I judge my stretch marks are going to show even more. If I judge my body, it's going to show itself as a lower version of itself. So instead, when the insecurity comes up, you say, okay, I'm not going to judge myself. This is the body that I am in. And what can I do about it? So you think about, okay, these are the things I can do to change. These are the positive changes I can bring. I can dance more. I can do yoga. I can eat healthy. I can avoid coffee, whatever. I can do A, B, C, D, and E to get back into a better vibing physical state. So anytime an insecurity comes up, any insecurity of any kind, literally turn it around. This is a part of your ascension curriculum. Even though it sounds like very far-fetched, it's so important. Every single insecurity, doubt, any of these things that come up have to be harmonized. And why is that so important? Until you harmonize, you're always walking around fragmented. I don't like my body. I don't know. I'm not happy with my relationship. I don't know. I don't like my job. I don't know if I should leave. I'm not sure what my soul purpose is. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. That's how most light workers are walking around. They're completely torn. I don't love my husband. He's got vaccination. I don't know if I should have sex with him. I don't know. Most people are fragmented so much that they are crashing right now, because the energy right now from the solar flashes that are constantly happening are so immense that many people are crashing because they're fragmented. So anytime you're in this fragmentation confusion, it's important for you to get back to 0 point. It's super, super, super important. Let's see if there's anything else that's calling the out attention right now. If you guys have any questions, let me know here as well. Another thing is, some of you eat meat and some of you smoke weed and some of you drink an occasional wine. Do you judge yourself? I seriously want to know, do you guys judge yourself? Do you hold guilt? Do you hold guilt for doing all of this? Because that's another area where you get fragmented. So if you smoke weed once in a while, if you drink a glass of wine once in a while, the important thing to remember is not how, how religion says, no, don't do this, you'll go to hell, and do this, you'll go to heaven. Spirituality, ascension is not this, it's not this black and white. It's more fluid. Think of it this way. Source is here to experience everything in love. So if you are doing something that you're judging, let go of the judgment, because you're the only one judging yourself. You are the only one judging yourself. Instead, get back into balance. What is balance? Not being addicted to anything, not giving away your power. So if you're giving away your power to weed or alcohol and you need it, so you're an addict to cannabis or you're an addict to alcohol, then there's a problem. What is the problem? Addiction has to go to ascend, because addiction means I am relying on this person to keep me happy. I am relying on this substance to keep me happy. Addictions have to go. But if you're not addicted and like you have a glass of wine, like I would love to have a glass of wine, to celebrate when I'm in a good mood, but I don't have it often. I probably have 1 glass or 2 glasses a month and only on special occasions. And I love it. I love how goofy I act. I love that side of me. I smoke weed again when I feel like it, but I'm not addicted to it. So letting go of the guilt and the judgment is a big one. Again, to not be so, this is another big one, guys. And then I think we'll wrap up. Oh, okay. So the next thing is very important. I wrote this down just before I started. Forgiving your family right now is super important. Many of you are holding on to so much blame. How did my father do this to me? How could my mother speak this way to me? How did they treat my inner child like this? I am such a beautiful child. As your light is expanding and you're feeling your power and your precious innocence, There's a lot of blame being directed towards your parents, and that I understand. I understand. But instead, what I would love for you to do is to change your perspective and remind yourself that you are a light being, you're a light worker, you are an evolved being that decided to come to planet Earth to heal your family lineage. And what does that mean really? Is that your mother and your father, you chose them. You know that already. You chose them. Why did you choose them? For the lessons that they would present to you. What lessons? The abuse, the manipulation, the blame, the guilt. Why did you choose them for all these lessons? Because you guys know this already. Why did you choose it? Because your soul said, I'm going to go to earth. I'm going to get all of these harshness all of this from my family, but I'm strong enough to not only come out of it so strong, not behave the same way with my children, heal myself fully, forgive my family, and therefore heal the entire lineage. You're here to do God's work. So holding on to all of this blame towards your family is keeping you stuck in a lower timeline. And what I have to say about this is also just because you're forgiving them doesn't mean you have to speak to them. So I'm going to share a personal story. When my mom was being toxic, my mom, there's nothing, she's a lovely person. She's a beautiful, hardworking person, vibrating 3D consciousness. She used to be a school teacher in India. Now she's retired. She cooked us good, nutritious meals. She thought that was being a mother, cooking for us. She was a master's in nutrition, so we had the best meals always. But that was her definition of being a good mother. We never hugged. She never said, I love you. And when I was 18 and I ran away from home, and I had to get an abortion because I had no money to have a baby. I called my mom and I said, Mom, I need you to help me, please. I'm pregnant and I need to get an abortion. And she's like, I don't care, just go get it yourself. So all of that was so traumatic for me that I healed all that. I forgave all that. I went through all of that. But then you know what happened about 3 years ago, just before I started my YouTube channel? Her negativity, her toxicity, her blame, her projections towards me became so intense. She started calling me like a bloody, stupid female and all these bad words. And it became so intense in my field that I made a conscious decision to cut her out of my life for a 1 year period. And I said, I'm going to see what happens after that. So for 1 year, I cut my mom off. And this is relevant because so many of you are going through this. I cut her on WhatsApp. I blocked her. I blocked her on email. There's a way you can do that. I blocked her on Facebook. So there was no entry for her to contact me. And I told her that in 1 year, I'll contact you. 1 year later, I contacted her. This was about 2 years ago. We lasted 3 months. And again, the abuse started. Again, I blocked her for 3 months. So I kept doing it until one day I said, I've given this enough tries. I'm going to completely block her forever. And you know what I did, guys? This is very interesting. I was so fully healed that I was not projecting any blame towards her at that time. Do you know what I did though? I said, okay, I'm disconnecting from her, but tomorrow, if I suddenly get a call from India saying she's passed, she's transitioned, she's no longer alive, how would I feel? And I watched myself and I said, I feel fine. We all have to go, we all have to transition, but I'm not going to live in that guilt that, oh my God, I have to be there for my mother. And even though she's toxic to me, if something happens to her, I can't take that weight on my soul. So I'm going to suck it up and just have contact with her. None of those stories. I let all those stories go. And I closed my eyes and I visualized like whenever everyone has to go, I said, whenever she dies, whenever she passes, may it be peaceful, may she be surrounded by all her loving family in India, because she has a lot of people. And I said, am I fully neutral about it? I am. So the reason this is coming up is when you forgive your families, you don't have to hold on to them so tight. Forgive, cut cords, and let go. And the message really is, if anyone is being toxic towards you, doesn't matter if it's your children, it doesn't matter if it's your spouse, anybody, if they're being toxic, and I have another point I have to talk about children before I forget. If they are being toxic for you, there is only one rule. No. No. Your toxicity, your negativity is not allowed in my field. period. It's as simple as that. Let's talk about children. A lot of people have been having issues with their children. There's one thing and only one thing I want to say to you guys: stand up and act like parents, act like guardians, act like the powerful powerhouses that you are. Don't let your children bully you. Don't let your children walk all over you. Don't let your children, don't fear that, oh my God, if I don't give in. Because I see a lot of light workers just sitting and allowing their children, who they term star seeds. And yes, your child may very well be star seed or not, but don't just sit and allow them to throw temper tantrums and walk all over you in the pretense of, oh, he's a sensitive child or she's a sensitive child and she's going through so much. Don't go through, those are all illusions. Instead, you're being asked to stand up and parent your children. Have the power, have the rules, have the discipline, have, because every child needs disciplining. Every child needs disciplining, and it's your job to discipline your children. Now let's, and even if they kick and scream, that's how you train your ego as well. If your ego is kicking and screaming, how do you train your ego? You discipline it. You say, hey, I know what you're saying, but I am the boss of me. I know what I'm doing. So I know you don't like that I'm going to Croatia for New Earth Music Festival. I know you think it's going to be too hard. I know you think it's going to be 3 flights. And just so you guys know, the Croatia festival is going to be humongous for your ascension. If it aligns for you, even if you have to take 8 flights to get there, and I'm being super serious right now, I'm giving you a tip. If you can afford it, and if your soul is calling you to it, but for some reason you don't know what is, this veil placed on you that you don't have access to, you're like, I don't know why I want to go, but there's something blocking me. This is your ego blocking you because of how big of a timeline jump this is going to be for you. We're being shown that Croatia has actually got a lot of ships already. We're here to do some okay, so this is a brand new download we got that I want to share with you. I haven't shared this with anyone yet. So what Seman and I got just yesterday is that Croatia is one of the it's not a chakra point, but it's an energetic point that is stuck. Okay, so it's stuck. It's like Earth is one big giant entity, and there's energy stuck in Croatia, and that energy needs to gush out of Croatia. And what's causing it to be stuck? In 1990, there was a huge war here. And so a lot of the people living here are still in that war consciousness. Croatia itself, like Dubrovnik, where we are, looks like heaven on earth. It looks gorgeous. The sea, oh my God. And December is actually not very cold. Many people think it's cold, but it's gorgeous here right now. It's just like absolute heaven on earth. But the people, the consciousness, it's very stuck because they all have this war energy. So it feels different. You know what I mean? So light workers who are coming here right now, many of you may think, oh, I'm going to a festival. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to meet soul family. Yes, there's all of that. You may think I'm going to go and get healed and activated like crazy. Yes, there's going to be all of that. But I want to give you another perspective. When you guys say yes to going to something like the New Earth Music Festival, Croatia, when you guys say yes to an entity as big and powerful and humongous as House of Ra, that is being governed by many, many benevolent forces like Yeshua, Metatron, Melchizedek, Isis, Mother Mary. There's a huge entourage of people who are guiding and governing, and Ra, of course, Ra. You're actually saying yes to doing, my God, I have shivers, guys. When you say yes to showing up at a festival like House of Ra, you are saying yes to doing your soul's work. You are saying yes to doing God's work. And do you know why that is? You may think you're paying money and going to a festival, so you're going to receive. But what if I say to you, you're actually going to give? What if I say that you're actually coming to Croatia to give? And because of that giving, your receiving is going to go through the roof. And I'm just getting that right now. I have goosebumps. What does that mean? It means that you're showing up saying, I'm going to Croatia to help with the land work. I'm going to help with the land healing. By being there, by physically going to Croatia and saying yes and showing up, I am literally saying, I am here to do God's work. I'm going to partake in the crystal healing. I'm going to allow my energy to be, my vibration to be raised to such a high vibration that I can go back and match a new octave. I can start a new timeline, a new life that is way higher than where I'm vibrating right now. So why is that God's work? because that's what the ascension requires of light workers. And there's not enough people who are stepping up and saying yes. Most people are so stuck in the density. They're so stuck in the density. And I feel for you, my friends. And there's nothing to be worried about. This density is all here to push you. It's all here to push you. Just like, that, like a pressure valve, like it gets tight, and then when it comes out, there's this release. Every single one of you is being put through that tunnel, that extremely unfamiliar, it's not a comfortable tunnel. But when you show up, what happens? Your vibration goes through the roof, and your vibration is the only currency. Your vibration goes through the roof, everything in your life changes. You meet new people, you meet new romantic relationships, your abundance goes through the roof. You get new opportunities, you meet with soul family, new connections are formed. All of a sudden, you're being invited to prayer circles, Zoom circles, land healing circles with all the people who attend the festival with you. All of a sudden, I have constant chills. All of a sudden your whole reality has shifted, and you don't know what caused it. It's that one decision. Because when you do God's work, so I might think, okay, I'm holding a Merlin activation, but right after the Merlin activation, what did Merlin say to me? He's like, hey, Milan, go shopping, it's my treat. The ascended masters only know one thing: how to shower us with blessings and gifts. And so one of the biggest abundance tips I can give you guys is that the more you give, the more abundant you become. It's not the other way around. It's not like I'm not abundant, I'm not receiving. It's because you're not giving. So to any of you who are kind of borderline, Croatia is going to be one of the biggest, easiest, fastest, smoothest, funnest ways to not only raise your vibration, but to completely let go of so much of this density that's holding on. And why is that? It's when you come to these high vibrational vortices and high vibrational containers like the House of Ra, like the New Earth Music Festival, and when you're with people like Siman and me and our team, what's happening is that a container is formed. The angels literally, there's a handshake. We take your vibration, we raise your vibration every single day, slowly higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And finally, on the last day, one day before the last day, there's a merger, there's a handshake between the heavens, where the heavens come down and they can meet us where we take you. And in that, magic happens. And what I mean by magic happens, we've experienced womb healings. There was this one girl who came, she came to our retreat, and a bunch of doulas, etheric doulas, invisible doulas came. They sat below her and they literally took her cysts and all the stuff that was in her womb. Like, she had huge cysts. And since all of that was gone, it was very profound in our shift into 5D retreat. And something very similar happened even in the Tulum retreat. So Nicole, my beautiful soul daughter's mom, Janine, had a huge, 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 huge birthing. Like, literally, you guys, if you guys haven't seen the video, it'll go up. But what happens is magic happens. So you may have cancer, and I don't know, like, you may have something that you don't know how to get off. But if you're on your ascension path and you say, I'm going to go and raise my vibration, magic can happen in these containers. So I'm saying to you that start paying more attention to these cues that your higher self is giving you. If you have to put all of your life savings, in fact, I know somebody, Geraldine, who works for me now, who works with us right now. She's amazing. She's a soul sister. She came to Miami and she was homeless. I'm not even joking. She was homeless. She said, I've saved every single penny. I'm actually camping in a tent right now. I don't have money, but I put the money to come to Miami. She came to Miami. She was crying the whole time. Remember, you guys were there. Remember that time when there was this one girl crying and said, I am homeless. And we did a raffle and an auction and paid her the money. That was her. That was Geraldine. And she works with us now. She lives 5 minutes away from our house, and she comes home every day, and she's our cook and our soul sister. And she's going to travel the world with us. She came to Tulum as well. All she knew was, I don't care how I do it, but I have to get to House of Ra because my soul is calling me. And in House of Ra, Tulum, you know what she said? She even said this. She literally said, watch this space. It's in the testimonial. She's like, watch this space, because by the next festival in Croatia, I'm going to be living in a fucking castle. And it's literally happening. Like, this house right now looks nothing short of a castle. Like, look at this princess bread. So really, really, guys, like, start putting your time, attention, money, and focus into high vibrational spiritual events. The New Earth Mystery School is another one. Like, this is your shortest, quickest way to ascending. And I'm not saying this as a foo-foo person. I don't want anything from you. I'm only saying it for you. I promise. I would never misguide you. I'm telling you because I know how powerful our vortex is. It is the most powerful thing I've ever seen on planet Earth. The vortex that we are in is the most powerful thing, the most powerful force, the most powerful phenomenon I have ever seen on this planet. So this is with all my heart and all of Siman's heart and with all of the House of Ra crew. I invite you to House of Ra Croatia. It's happening this December 29th to January 3rd in a stunning five-star hotel on the beach. You can check it out at www.houseofra.com. Already we have the Croatia Telegram chat. It's buzzing. Oh my God. People are so excited. And we attract the most heart-centered frequencies. We don't just advertise in newspapers and say, come. We're very selective about our crowd, and that's our reputation. We keep a very high vibration. It's all soul connection. And this is you laying the groundwork for planet Earth. And if you say yes and come to do God's work, the rewards are endless, my friends. I love you all so much. I hope this helped. I hope this helped. Yes, 2023, there'll also be a festival. We don't know where. Happy birthday, Kathy. Yes, I'll see you all there. I hope this was just a short, quick transmission. I hope you guys feel more clear, feel more calm, feel more just harmonized with all of this. I love you guys so much. Beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that. Bye, my friends. And I'll see you this Sunday. Don't forget, we have the angel magic ceremony this Sunday, my friends. So, Samhain, if you guys know, so Halloween is the reversed code. Samhain is a very beautiful, like Samhain is what we call the spiritual term for Halloween. And the veil is very thin. The veil between us and the higher realms is very thin. And we're literally starting to see it, Siman and I, in our personal lives. So on October 30th, this Sunday, I believe, we're hosting an angel magic ceremony as part of the New Earth Mystery School. And I am so excited to see you all there. We're going to be doing a slide format and teaching you guys how you can do your own angel magic ceremonies in the comfort of your own homes. We're going to share some stories that will blow your minds as to how angel magic helped us in our own lives 3 years ago. We've seen magic happen. We command the angels at our beck and call because of how much on our soul's path we are. And we're going to teach you all of that. And then Siman and me and the kids, all three of them, we're all going to host an angel magic ceremony for you all. I love you so much. Take care, my friends. Bye now. I love you.